Hello students, welcome to part 2 of chapter 4 of statistics, that is presentation of data. So today in this session we are going to understand that why data presentation is necessary. There are certain principles of data presentation. To arrange the data in such a way that it should create interest in the reader's mind at the first sight itself. So it is very important that data has to be very apt. And the another principle of data presentation is that it should present the information in a compact and concise form without losing the important details. And a very good data should be presented in such a way that the data is in a simple form so as to draw the conclusion directly by viewing at the data. And the data presentation should be in such a way that it can help in further statistical analysis. Now, presentation of data can be done in the following way. It can be done tabular or graphical. Tabular we have already learned in the first part, that is it could be either simple table or complex table. And when we talk about graphical, then it can be quantitative data or qualitative data. So when we talk about quantitative data, it can be represented in graphical form, like let's say histogram or frequency polygon, frequency curve, line chart, normal distribution curve, cumulative distribution curve, or scattered diagram. And when we talk about qualitative data, it can be presented in the form of graph like bar chart, pictogram, pie chart, or map diagram. Now, tables are the devices that are used to prevent the data in a very simple form, and it is probably the first step before the data is used for analysis or interpretation. So whenever you are designing the table, there are certain things which have to be kept in mind, which we have already discussed in the first part, that it should have table number, title, footnote, etc., stubs, etc., which we have studied in part 1. This is the simple table. When characteristics with values are presented in the form of table, it is known as simple table, like name of the country and infant mortality rate. So we have name of the countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, and the infant mortality rate or ratio is also given. Now this is the simple form of table. Frequency distribution table means the data is first split up into convenient group or class intervals, and the number of items which occur in each group is shown adjacent columns. Hence, it is a table which is showing the frequency with which the values are distributed in different groups or classes with some defined characteristics. So what are the rules for construction of a frequency table? The class interval should not be too large or too small. The number of classes to be formed more than 8 or less than 15. And the class interval should be equal and uniform. Like let's say for example 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. So here the class interval is uniform and that is 10. So after the construction of table, proper and clear heading should be given to it, and the base or source of data should also be mentioned. This is the example of frequency distribution table. We have age and number of patient, age 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, and so on. And let's say, for example, under the age of 10 to 14, there are 11 patients. So it is very easy to analyze that how many number of patients are falling under the category of 20 to 24. And from this table, I can make out that more number of patients are falling under the age of 0 to 4. So this way, a good table should, it should be the one from which you can easily compare and analyze the information. Now let's talk about chart and diagrams, which are graphical form. Charts and diagrams are useful method of presenting simple data. They have powerful impact on imaginations of the people, and it gives information at a glance. So diagrams are better retained in memory than statistical table. However, graphs cannot be substituted for statistical table because the graphs cannot have mathematical treatment, whereas tables can be treated mathematically. So whenever graphs are compared, the difference in the scale should be noted, and it should be remembered that a lot of details and accuracy of original data is lost in chart and diagrams. And if we want the real study, we have to go back to the original data. These are the common diagrams which are used, like pie chart, simple bar diagram, multiple bar diagram, component bar and subdivided bar diagram, histogram, frequency polygon and curve, ogive curve, scattered diagram, line diagram, pictogram, and statistical maps. So let's talk about bar charts or bar diagrams. The data presented here is categorical. Data is presented in the form of rectangular bar of equal breadth, and each bar represents one variant or an attribute. And suitable scale should be indicated, and scale starts from 0. So the width of the bar and gaps between the bar should be equal throughout. And the length of the bar is proportional to the magnitude or frequency of the variable. So bar diagram can be either vertical or horizontal. This is the example. Here we can see that year-wise enrollment of student in government school is given, and we can see that each bar diagram is of equal distance and it is equal in the form of rectangular bar of equal breadth. We can see from this we can make out that every year how many number of students have enrolled in government school. Then we have multiple bar charts. This is also called as a compound bar charts, wherein when we have more than one sub attribute of variable, then it can be expressed in form of multiple bar diagram. Whereas over here we can see that percentage of the world total and with the various population and land. The one in red is population and the one in green is land. So we can make out that Asia has the largest population from this multiple bar chart. Next one is component bar chart. When there are many categories on x-axis, that is more than 5, and they have further subcategories, then to accommodate the categories, the bar may be divided into parts, and each part representing certain item and proportional to the magnitude of that particular item. Then we use component bar chart. We can over here make out, we have divided the same bar diagram into two so that it can be easily analyzed. This is the example of component bar chart, wherein we can easily make out that in Pakistan, the ratio in pink is female and purple is male. In Sweden, we can easily make out there are the more number of female than as compared to male. So this way, in component bar chart, when the data is more and it is subdivided, we can present it this way. Next is histogram. It is used for quantitative continuous variables, and it is used to present variables which have no gaps. Example, age, weight, height, blood sugar, etc. And it consists of series of blocks. The class intervals are given along the horizontal axis and the frequency along the vertical axis. We can see over here that there is no gap. The data is continuous and it is moving continuously without any gap. So this is the example of histogram. Next we have is frequency polygon. It is an area diagram of frequency distribution over a histogram. It is linear representation of frequency table or a histogram, and we obtain that by joining the midpoint of that histogram block. And frequency is plotted at the center point of a group, and then we can get a diagram. When we talk about normal frequency distribution curve, frequency polygon may take many different shapes, but many naturally occurring phenomena are approximately distributed according to symmetrical bell-shaped normal distribution. And in the normal distribution curve, the three measures of central tendency are identical, and approximately 68% of the distribution falls within the category of, like we can call it as standard deviation of the mean, approximately 95%, and so on. Then we have a line diagram. Line diagrams are used to show the trend of events with the passage of time. And line diagrams showing the malaria cases reported throughout the world excluding African region during 1972 or 78. So we can over here see that in the year 76, it was at its peak, and then slowly after that it started decreasing. Next, we have the most common way of presenting data, and that is pie chart. So over here, the value of each category is divided by the total value and then multiplied by 360, and then each category is allocated the respective angle to present the proportion it has. We can see the example over here, the world population. The purple is developed country and the one in pink is developing country. So from this, we can analyze that 26% are developing and 74 are developed. This is just an example to make you understand. This is another example of your pie chart. Over here, the one in purple are the one doctor went to Lahore, or doctors who have retired, doctors who are on leave, or working force of doctors. Next one is pictogram. This is the popular method of presenting data to those who cannot understand orthodox chart. So small pictures or symbols are used to present the data. Example, a picture of a doctor to represent the population physician. Fraction of the picture can be used to represent numbers smaller than the value of whole symbol. Next we have is statistical maps. When the statistical data refers to geographical or administrative areas, it is represented either as a statistical map or a dot map. The shaded map are used to present data of varying size, and the areas are shaded with different color or different intensities of the same color, which is indicated in the key. Next we have is scatter diagram. Scatter diagrams show the relationship between the two variables. Example, positive correlation or association between the intake of fat and sugar in the average diet of 41 countries. So if the dot cluster around a straight line, it shows the evidence of relationship of a linear nature. And if there is no such cluster, it is probably that there is no relationship between the two variables. So this was all about presentation of data. Thank you very much.